just by the looking on the opera house, you can see the imponence of it. And that was the idea in the rubber boom period, was to show the prestige, the imponence. That's one of the reasons why this is a part of the architecture, the height from the ground, right. You see? And still nowadays, some people get scared when they look at this building. A lot of people nowadays, they don't know what that is. They have no idea of what that is. Really? People that live in Manaus, they are afraid of going in there. But here in the Opera House, there is a lot of, we have regular performances here. We have ballet, theater, music, operas. We have an opera season here that's normally in the beginning of the year. And the Opera House was inaugurated with an opera called La Gioconda, de Ponchielli.
La Gioconda, yeah.
La Gioconda. Right. And we have regular presentations. It's beautiful. All the material used on this construction came from Europe. Yes. And the main structure of it is iron, cast iron. So the skeleton of the Opera House is iron. You see, it looks like bricks, but it's all iron inside. Right. On the very top, we have this ceiling made of ceramics. You know, different colors of ceramics. Yes. Yes. Some glass also.
Now, it's a Cinco de Setembro 1850. Is that when it was started or finished?
That was, you know, the very beginning of the construction was in about 1822. That was about the middle of, from the beginning to the end of the construction, because the inauguration was in 1896. Was quite in the 1900. So that was about the midway between the beginning of the construction and the end of it. For some writers, the very end of the construction was in about 1904. So in 1896, what was really made was the biggest structure of it. I mean, the base of it. The details, the paintings, all that was ended by 1904. So, but it's very hard to discuss about it.
The capacity.
War. This building was used for storage of army, military equipment, and other stuffs for the war.
This is the First World War.
Yeah, the First World War, and so because of this use of the Opera House during the war, the building was pretty much damaged. The paintings, some of the paintings disappeared, but then it was restored. After that, it was restored many times, and now you can see the glamour of it. It's really one of the most beautiful constructions. So this is the historical side of the city, the most important part of the city. Very much observed not to use the flash in here because of the paintings we have, and we only have a few paintings left from the original time of the building, from the very beginning. So let's go there inside to. It's a group of students. Yeah. I was saying to my friends here that this building here is one of the most imponent buildings from the rubber boom period, and it's one of the construction that is left, and one of the most beautiful of them, of the rubber boom period. And as I was saying to them, there is still. Even nowadays, there is a lot of people that are afraid of coming in here because they don't know what this is. They think this could be an office of the government or a prison or something. Nowadays, there is still a lot of people that haven't been here yet. I am in the university. I am studying tourism there, and I have a lot of friends there. They said they've never been inside here. And what we see right now, it's a group of students up there. That's why it was kind of noisy, because of the students. You know, the schools nowadays, most of the schools, they bring students in here to visit, so to get familiar with this type of culture that they were not used to. So the Opera House, it's not so big. It sits only about 700 people, and most of the chairs we see here, they are made of wood. They are carrara, and carrara, no, jacaranda. Carrara is the marble we will see up there. The first chairs, the original chairs of the Opera House, were made of iron, just like the main structure. You see all the columns we see here, they are made of iron. So the skeleton of the opera house is iron. The main structure is cast iron, all from Scotland. I mean, from Scotland or Liverpool, somewhere in England, somewhere around there. It's rich. So outside, it seems like it's only bricks, but inside of the walls there is a lot of iron. All the masks around here, they bring names of writers, composers, very famous people like Shakespeare, Beethoven, Verdi, Mozart. I don't know if I'm going too fast for you. Is that all right?
Expensive for people to come?
It's not so expensive, and there's a lot of incentive from the state government and from the city mayor. They give a lot of incentive for people to come, so they pay for the people, for local people to see the presentation. We could see opera, we could see ballet, theater, any kind of presentation for free. And by the way, my friend was saying, a friend of mine that works here, he said last week we had an opera here. I forgot the name again.
Barbara Seville.
But this opera house was inaugurated with an opera called La Gioconda, de Ponchielli, from Ponchielli. And we have regular presentations here. Next week, they are preparing the stage right now for dance. We're going to have a dance for the next week. Here is on the very top. If you look up, you see there is 4 golden columns dividing the paintings, and that represents the base of the Eiffel Tower. If you look up, it seems like you are under the Eiffel Tower in Paris. See, most of what we have here is imitation of France, of the French architecture, French style, because a lot of French people were living here in the rubber boom period, and that was, I believe, that was the boom of the French architecture. And in between the columns there, we have the painting on the left, right there, represents the dance. That's dance.
Excuse me?
Forward is a homage to a Brazilian composer called Carlos Gomes. On the right side here represents the music, right there. And the back behind here represents drama or tragedy. You see it dark, it's dark. And that was painted on canvas, and it was stuck up on the ceiling. Was pasted up there. And it's still original. Very famous period, the stock market collapsed, right?
That's right.
1929. I don't know if in that time they had another reason to write it down there, but your car don't you?
I think they just sway as they're going up.
Yeah, José Maurício Nunes Giga. And according to specialist people, this improves the acoustics of the opera house. So that's why they brought this wood from Europe and put it here on the floor to improve the acoustics.
And what's the name of the wood again, please?
They call it pinho de riga. Pinho, it's pine, kind of pine. And this opera house is one of the best opera houses in the world in terms of acoustics, especially. And Pavarotti, he came here in 1995, if I'm not wrong. And he sang here, he came to visit, but he sang just to check, and he said it's really excellent. So and Pavarotti was the guy to say whether the acoustics was good or not.
Right.
Now we go a little forward to take a look in one of the cabins. One of it, like you see, it's all iron. And most of these cabins here, they sit about five people, except the one on the very right. That's the governor box. It sits 12 people there. The chandelier you see with the lights on, it goes all the way down to be clean and to change the lights, the bulbs. See, there's a chain to bring it down.
Oh, that's good.
It goes all the way down to the size of to the level of the chairs there. The opera house was the very top. The highest, the best was the best site or the best impression for the people. But a lot of specialists on culture, on operas and all that, they say that nowadays things have changed because the noble people, the finest people, they go down. They sit there. That was down there where we first sat. That was the place for the very poor people, and now it's for the noble people, especially the front seats, and that's where the select people sit. Here you also have a good view from here. but on the very top is terrible. Especially if you go see a ballet presentation, or if it's music, it's all right. But some of the presentations is not any good. About this room here, but I'd like to have everybody together so that we don't disturb the other explanation of our friend of ours here. So this is one of the nicest places to be visited inside the opera house, and it's called the Noble Room. It's called Noble Room because here the rich guys of the rubber, they used to make their celebrations here, parties and all that. And up there, the orchestra used to stay to play for these rich guys to dance and have their fun right here. The painting on the very top, it was made by Domenico De Angelis, and it's a glorification of arts and opera in the Amazon. As you can see, there is some symbols, some paintings, parts of the painting representing the music. You see the violin there, and the poem or poesy and all that. And so that's one of the nicest paintings. According to writers, the golden paintings you see there, it's really made of gold. It's covered with gold. Wow. All the chandeliers you see around, they came from Italy. You see colored, all of them are colored. They have colors on the glass. It's very beautiful, all of them original. The paintings around, they represent the fauna and flora. All the paintings on the wall, they are representing fauna and flora here in the Amazon, except the biggest one right there, which represents an opera. It's called O Guarani, that one right there, you see, on the wall. You see there's an Indian boy carrying on saving a girl. She's a Portuguese girl, according to a story, the story of this opera. And that's a romance between an Indian boy and a Portuguese girl. So that's a very famous story, and it became an opera made by Carlos Gomes.
Does everybody know that story?
A lot of people know, yes. Carlos Gomes was the composer of this opera. And right here, there is something very nice to see. The glass. If you look at right here, there is a beautiful French glass right there. And if you look inside, it seems like there's no end. It go like forever.
Yes.
Yes. Some people say that this was invented by some Hispanic person to give the idea of more space. And, well, I don't know actually, but it's really nice, beautiful. And one of the reasons why we have to use this stuff is not to scratch this floor. Because you see, it's a very beautiful floor made, we call it marquetry or machetaria. And it's, here we have over 12,000 pieces of wood assembled together. There's no glue or nail. And so this was not allowed to be visited. We should not come in here. And the manager of the opera house decided to let us come in here, but under this condition, with this little thing here.
Is this floor original to the opera house? Is this floor original?
Yes, all this is original, all original. Here we have people say it's the jacaranda, the very dark wood right down there. There is pau Brasil, this kind of red wood, and there is other types of wood that are very noble wood. The columns we have here, they are made of iron. Inside is iron, and outside is plaster. You see, or Gimpsy, they call it in German. That's why you see it looks like a Greek column, because they could, to make the caves and all that, it should be some easy way, so it's plaster. You know, like the plaster you put around the arm when you break it. And on the very base, we have Italian marble, Carrara marble. And around the door, you see right there, there is some French marble there. I forgot the name of it, but it's French, the red marble there.
Who paid for all of this beautiful building?
The construction of this building was paid by the state and the noble people of the rubber. They also made a contribution for the construction.
How long did it take to build everything and get everything over here from Europe?
Well, most of what was used to make this building came from Europe. Some of the wood is Brazilian, but it was taken to Europe for them to work it out and brought it back. It took over 12 years to make this building. most of the writers, they say the construction started in about 1822, and the end was, for some writers, was in about 1904. That was a very long time. I would say maybe about, was not only 12 years, was a lot more. If you look on the floor there, we have some black and white stones on the floor, on the ground of the square, and that represents the Rio Negro and the Amazon River. As most of what we have here is imitation of European stuffs, and people say that in Europe they have a lot of this, but here in Manaus, it's said that this represents the Rio Negro and the Amazon River and the waves, you see?
I like that.
And the monument in the middle, it represents the industry of the rubber. The monument in the middle of the square, it's made of bronze. There is also a lot of como é que chama? The birds. Pombo é pigeon? Não, pigeon não. Doves. They destroy everything here, the doves.
In there.
Urinar? Huh?
No?
Yes, ma'am?
There were that many people coming.
Boats going and coming.
Straight by ship.
Yes, straight by ship.
Parando, eu não queria parar não, porque foi um negócio bom, sabe? Mas eu fui muito roubado aí eu tava
mesmo? Né?
Mas eu vou ver, se dá para continuar, eu continuo. Porque não tem...
In 1975, yes. And she left her shoes here just as souvenir. The chairs you sit down in the first time down there, they are not the original. The original were those there. I mean, like that's
Metal with...
That's metal. The base of it. They call it cane, kind of cane. Chegamos. Here we are. After a long time, it got damaged, and it was changed by this type of material.
So
it's similar. Looks like if you go when you go back there, you see that it looks a little bit like, but it's not the same. Huh?
So the what's in the seams there is
rubber.
Think they put the rubber on after the stone, or each stone is covered with rubber and then they put down?
Put it on, but from what I have seen on these bricks, it seems like they are totally made of a mixture with the rubber. Yes, yes. Because I have seen one piece of this here. I have seen it totally out of the place, and it seems like the same. It looks like the same all the way around. It would not last for. It would be worn out very quick.
I see. Okay.
So
the whole thing is really
the whole thing is mixed with the rubber. Yes.
Right. Maybe someone has done an analysis and
brothel.
Where the putanas do business.
Yes. And but the name of this was Jet Set. They changed the name, but in Manaus, if you ask people where is the Jet Set, they will all tell you it's right here. They changed the name, but everybody knows it's here, the Jet Set.
what about this?
This monument was made in Europe, and it was brought here in 1882. And on the very top, it represents the industry of rubber. That was our economy in the 1800s, the strongest economy. The rubber industry, and they used to call it the white gold. So the monument is made of bronze, marble, granite, and the ships you see on the base, they represent the opening of the ports of the Amazon to the rest of the world. Each one of the ships represents a continent. As you see there is one ship representing America, the other ship representing Asia. Behind there is another ship representing Africa, and Europe. So the name of the square here is San Sebastian Square.